Scorpio, something extraordinary is about to happen on Wednesday, October 8th at exactly 12 o'clock am, and you are not here by accident. The miracle you've been waiting for, the breakthrough your spirit has quietly prayed for in the shadows, is now set in motion. You have arrived at a moment that was written in the stars long before you ever questioned whether you were truly seen by the universe. And today, we're not just going to talk about astrology or pull a few cards for entertainment. No. This message is sacred. This space is consecrated. This portal is real. What you're about to hear could alter the rhythm of your inner world and the structure of your outer one. You see, Scorpio, on October 8th, a rare alignment occurs. The moon, your mirror of emotion, moves through the deep waters of the soul, while Pluto, your ruling planet, forms a sacred trine with the sun. At the very same time, Mercury whispers hidden truths. Together, these cosmic forces open a once-in-a-cycle gateway. And it opens exactly at midnight. This is not a prediction. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to return to yourself. To trust the voice you've buried beneath logic and noise. To reclaim your spiritual authority in a world that often asks you to silence it. There is something within you that has always known this moment was coming. Maybe you felt it in your chest, a pull towards stillness, a craving for release, a longing for something more than survival. Maybe you've been waking up at strange hours. Maybe you've dreamed of someone calling you from the other side. Whatever brought you here today, listen carefully, because the signs are not subtle anymore. Before we go deeper, I want you to pause with me. Take a single breath. Right now. In and out. Feel the energy in your hands. Feel the gravity in your heart. You are not just watching this video. You are standing at the doorway of divine timing. And I want to thank you for being here, for choosing to show up for your soul. Every like, every comment, every subscription, is more than support. It is alignment. And every time you share your energy with this space, you help expand the spiritual family we've been growing here at Miracle of the Sign. Your presence here matters. So if you're already feeling the stirrings of recognition in your body, if your heart is whispering that this message is yours, please take a moment now to affirm it. Write in the comments, "I'm ready. October 8th is my day." The miracle is real. Because when you say it out loud, when you type it into existence, you become an active co-creator of your transformation. Stay with me until the very last second of this video. What the universe is revealing for you today is not only powerful, it's deeply personal. And believe me, Scorpio, you don't want to miss the moment it all comes together. Now tell me, what part of your soul guided you here tonight? What longing, what question, what quiet prayer did you carry into this sacred space? Let's find out together. Because the cards, the stars, and the voice of God have been waiting for you. And they are ready to speak. Scorpio, when we speak of October 8th at exactly 12 a.m., we are not merely referencing a calendar date or a passing celestial event. We are speaking of a sacred turning point, a moment when the fabric between what has been and what could be begins to softly unravel. The stars do not shout, they whisper. But this time, they are whispering your name. Right now, the moon is making her way through the deep and sacred terrain of the subconscious, illuminating everything you've tucked away, everything you've been too exhausted or too afraid to look at. This isn't a punishment. It's an invitation to pause, to witness, to receive. And Pluto, your ruler, the planet of transformation and rebirth, forms a harmonious trine with the sun itself. That alone tells us something powerful. Light is being offered to the places where you've only known shadow. And not in a way that exposes or overwhelms, but in a way that integrates and restores. It is not a coincidence. It is not a trick of fate. It is alignment, one that has been long in the making. Pluto, often misunderstood as destructive, actually carries the sacred role of midwife to the soul. It breaks only what no longer supports your truth. It dismantles only the structures that were built on survival, not love. So when Pluto and the Sun meet in harmony, especially for you, Scorpio, it means something ancient is ready to be reborn. It means the deeper parts of you, the ones that have been shaped by both pain and grace, are rising again, but this time with clarity and with purpose. This is why I say, the miracle was never outside of you. The miracle has always been waiting for you to slow down enough to hear it calling from within. We often think transformation arrives with fireworks or grand gestures. But truthfully, the greatest transformations come quietly, like breath entering the lungs after too long underwater. This moment, this cosmic alignment, is that breath. And the timing is no accident. October 8th, 12 a.m., is not symbolic, it is precise. The window opens then. And windows like this do not open every week. When they do, the soul knows. That's why you're here. Even if your body is tired. Even if your heart has been carrying silent aches. Even if your prayers have felt like echoes. Something within you still chose to be present. And presence is the first door to grace. In moments like these, I often think of the verse, even when we do not know what to pray for, the Spirit intercedes with groanings too deep for words. That, to me, is what this portal represents. It is the Spirit, interceding for you when you feel too weary to speak for yourself. The stars themselves become a kind of divine intercession, a signal that heaven and earth have made an agreement on your behalf. But there's a truth here that we must also hold: this window may open, but it will not force itself upon you. The universe is not a thief. It waits for your yes. It waits for your willingness to release what weighs you down and to trust that something greater is already being written, even now, in silence. So, as the moon reaches into your hidden waters and Pluto restores your will to rise, I want you to remember something. This moment is not about fixing what's broken. It's about recognizing what's sacred. Even your pain. Even your fear. Even your silence. This is your return. Not to who you were, but to who you truly are beneath all the armor, beyond all the roles. You are not being asked to leap. You are being asked to open. You are being asked to allow the light in, slowly, gently, until the darkness no longer feels like exile, but like fertile soil. And when the clock strikes midnight on October 8th, I hope you are not fighting to understand what it all means. I hope you are simply still enough to receive it. Because the miracle won't need you to explain it. It will only need your permission. Scorpio, the energy we're moving through right now is not abstract, it's deeply personal. And the three cards that have stepped forward for you at this precise moment, the Moon, the Chariot, and the Ten of Pentacles, are not simply symbols or tools of divination. They are mirrors. They reflect the terrain of your inner world, the places where emotion has pooled and clarity has been slow to arrive, and they offer not only insight but direction. Each one carries its own vibration, and together, they form a powerful triad of revelation, action, and arrival. The moon comes first, as it always does when we're being asked to move inward. In the language of energy, the moon speaks softly but unflinchingly. It shows you where your doubts have taken root, where confusion has lingered like mist at the edge of your awareness. Often, this card appears when you've been walking through emotional fog, unsure of whether your instincts are trustworthy, unsure of what is real and what is projection. The moon doesn't condemn you for your uncertainty. It embraces it. It reminds you that part of the human path is moving through seasons of clouded vision. But it also invites you to gently reconnect with the deeper knowing that never left you. It's not about ignoring the fog, it's about recognizing that you are still capable of finding your way, even within it. The moon shows up when your soul is craving intimacy with its own truth. That's why this card so often stirs discomfort, because it doesn't just point to fear, it asks you to feel it. And in doing so, it offers healing. Think of it like walking into a dark room and slowly allowing your eyes to adjust. The things that frightened you at first begin to soften. They become shapes you recognize. They become stories you can finally lay to rest. Then comes the chariota shift in pace, a breaking of inertia. Where the moon asks for stillness and reflection, the chariot demands movement and decision. This is where the energetic current lifts you out of paralysis. In numerology, 7 is the number of divine momentum, of spiritual force breaking through stagnation. It's no coincidence that this card appears alongside this moment in your chart, when the stars are literally aligning to help you move forward. But the chariot doesn't promise ease. It requires courage. It asks you to pick a direction not with the assurance of outcome, but with the conviction of inner truth. What makes the chariot sacred is that it is always self-driven. No one else can steer this vehicle for you. That's the medicine of this card. You are not waiting for someone else to rescue you. You are being reminded that you have the reins. And yes, fear may be riding in the back seat. But faith is in the driver's seat now. And then, like a gentle landing after a long journey, we arrive at the 10 of Pentacles. This card is the grounding promise. It is the arrival. Not just in the material world though, yes, this often points to long-awaited financial support, a stable home, or the resolution of generational burdens. But on a deeper level, the 10 of Pentacles is a reminder that what you are building now is not just for you. It's for those who came before you and those who will come after. It holds the weight of legacy and the lightness of continuity. It is the confirmation that your journey, however complex, however delayed, has always been leading somewhere meaningful. Together, these 3 cards tell a sacred story. First, the confusion of the moon. Then, the bold choice of the chariot. And finally, the quiet arrival of the 10 of Pentacles. It is the arc of healing itself. We don't go from chaos to completion in one leap. We feel our way through the dark, we choose to move even when afraid, and we arrive at something lasting not by accident, but by faithful intention. So if you're still doubting whether you're ready to say yes on the night of October 8th, let this be your reminder. Clarity does not always come before the choice. Sometimes the choice is what brings the clarity. And when you say yes to your path, the path says yes to you in return. When the moon card whispered to you earlier, it wasn't simply showing your fear, it was preparing your heart for clarity. And when the chariot thundered in, it wasn't just about movement, it was the sacred knocking of destiny at your door. Now, we stand in the silence that comes right before the miracle. The Ten of Pentacles already revealed that what's coming is not fleeting. It is solid. It is generational. It is real. But it doesn't shout. It arrives like a warm light just before sunrise, only seen by those who have eyes beyond fear and ears that listen through the quiet. On the night of October 8th, you may not hear trumpets in the sky or see lightning strike your front porch. But if you truly slow down, if you allow your energy to sink below the surface of chaos, you'll feel it. A shift. A nudge. A moment where something in your body knows, I'm being called. This call may come in a message from someone unexpected. A sudden invitation. A financial opportunity that was delayed but now is back on the table. It may even be a simple idea, quiet but relentless, repeating itself in your heart. Do it now. Do not ask your fear to interpret these signs. It never speaks your destiny's language. On that sacred night and the days that followed, still enough to hear your soul. Because here's the truth no one tells you, the miracle is not coming from outside of you. It's arriving through you. Your healed presence is the portal. And when you stop trying to fix everything and start allowing yourself to be aligned with what already belongs to you, that's when it all starts to move. This is also the season of divine recentering. Those old feelings of confusion between anxiety and intuition, they are dissolving. The deeper you breathe, the more clearly you'll know what is truly for you. Because miracles don't fight to be seen. They simply settle in when there's space. You've been clearing that space, even when it felt lonely, even when it felt like nothing was happening. But in the cosmic timeline, stillness is never wasted time. It's calibration. Alignment. Rebirth. As you prepare to walk into this new vibration, I invite you to ask yourself gently, where do I feel the miracle building in my life? Is it in your finances where blockages are melting away and unexpected resources are flowing in? Is it in your relationships where a long-lost soul connection may finally return, or a toxic tie quietly breaks? Or perhaps it is in your spiritual world where peace is finally louder than the noise, and your nervous system feels safe in your own body again. Write that answer in the comments. Don't just think it, declare it. Because the moment you claim it, the universe hears. And not just the universe, your future self, the version of you that's already living in that blessing, begins to pull you forward. Magnetic. Grounded. Free. This is not about fantasy. This is about sacred preparation. About being energetically dressed for what you said you wanted. The miracle isn't late. It's arriving in divine silence, right on time for those who are ready to receive it without panic, without resistance, without needing it to prove itself first. So now I ask you, are you ready to stop searching for signs and start becoming one? Because this is your moment. October 8th is not just a date, it is a doorway. Walk through it. The night of October 8th holds a soft key, subtle, yet powerful enough to unlock everything you've been preparing for. If you've been walking with quiet hope, carrying dreams too sacred to speak aloud, this is your portal. Energy does not always arrive in thunderclaps or fireworks. Sometimes, it arrives as a whisper in the silence, asking, will you say yes? Will you allow this good thing in? At midnight, when the veil between resistance and receptivity is thinnest, the energy becomes responsive. And that's when we begin the ritual, not for superstition, but for self-alignment. Light a white or purple candle, not because the flame itself holds power, but because the act of lighting it tells your nervous system, I'm ready now. I am creating sacred space. I'm choosing presence over panic. White carries the frequency of protection and rebirth. Purple carries the signature of healing, spiritual sovereignty, and transformation. When lit with intention, they do not just burn, they transmit. Place your hand on your heart. That's where your power has always lived. Take 3 deep breaths. The first to exhale doubt. The second to exhale resistance. The third to make space. And then speak softly or firmly, it does not matter as long as it comes from you. I allow goodness to flow into my life. I welcome the miracle meant for me. I do not need to understand everything, I only need to be open. In this moment, you're not trying to force the universe. You're simply allowing it to deliver what it's already been preparing in silence. This isn't about control, it's about co-creation. It's about letting go of the how, and saying yes to the now. There's a reason October 8th carries specific frequencies. On that day, the energy of the number 7 is especially amplified. 7 is the number of divine order, of inner wisdom, and of unexpected breakthroughs. Repeating 7's like 777 signal that the cosmic path is clearing just ahead of you, even if you can't yet see it. When paired with colors like indigo blue, royal purple, and shimmering silver, the frequencies multiply. These are not random shades, they are emotional activators. Indigo awakens your third eye, your intuitive clarity. Purple strengthens your energetic field. Silver invites grace and emotional peace. So tonight, wear or visualize these colors. Let them wrap around you like a protective veil. Let them whisper, you are ready. You are safe. You are seen. And if you feel called, write it down. 7 opens the way, and I say yes. Not because writing creates magic, but because it focuses your energy. It anchors intention. It reminds you of who you're becoming and that you're no longer asking for miracles from a place of lack, but from a place of alignment. You are not broken. You are in bloom. You are not waiting, you are being prepared. So I ask you now, where do you feel your miracle wants to land first? Your finances, your relationships, or your inner peace? Leave a comment below and declare it. Claim it. Anchor it. You're not just manifesting, you're collaborating. Because sometimes, it's not about the big voice in the sky. It's about the stillness in your chest that says, I believe in something greater, and I believe I am worthy of receiving it. And that is enough. After everything that's already begun to shift in your awareness, this part of the journey invites you to pause and recognize the fruit quietly growing beneath the surface. You may not yet see the entire tree in bloom, but something real has been planted and it's already taking root. Miracles rarely arrive with dramatic fireworks. Instead, they tend to enter like a soft rain soaking the earth, nurturing life with gentle, steady grace. What we spoke of earlier, the celestial alignments, the energy codes, the unlocking of October 8th's powerful portal has now reached the moment where you begin to see the first signs of divine reward, and this part of the message is all about anchoring that energy through awareness, self-nourishment, and conscious action. You might find that a solution to your longest-standing financial burden suddenly appears, perhaps in the form of an unexpected offer, a debt release, or even a person returning to fulfill an old promise. This is not coincidence. This is the ripple effect of your inner realignment with truth. When you choose to believe in the unseen, when you prepare space in your life for the good, it often arrives in ways you didn't expect. A relative who once hurt you may now seek reconciliation not because they suddenly changed, but because the vibration of your heart has softened, and the universe is responding. This return doesn't mean forgetting, but it may mean release. You are not here to carry every scar forever. And if you've been nurturing a creative idea, a healing project, or a soul admission, this is your cosmic nudge to move forward with it. The green light is coming not all at once, but in waves. Sometimes clarity arrives not in a loud yes, but in the sudden disappearance of resistance. But with every divine blessing comes the responsibility of gentle self-regulation. Your nervous system, your body, and your spirit must be allowed to process this influx. That's why practical support matters deeply right now. Start simple. Be aware of tension in your body. Breathe deeply when anxiety creeps in. A 10-minute walk in silence might do more for your healing than an hour of overthinking. Consider adding calming foods, warm teas, magnesium-rich vegetables, grounding fruits. Your nervous system doesn't need stimulation, it needs stability. Offer it what it's been asking for in whispers. In your career, don't let fear of change mask itself as stability. If your spirit feels uninspired, pay attention. You are being asked to stretch to trust that something more aligned is possible. It might start as a conversation, a side project, or even a nudge to leave behind what no longer reflects your worth. Financially, this is a week to spend consciously, not out of fear but with love. Every dollar you release carries a frequency, make sure it's a kind one. And in love, perhaps the hardest terrain, way invite you to return to softness without losing your edge. It is safe to feel deeply, but boundaries are your sacred gates. Express how you care, but release the fear of being left behind. Remember, the one meant for your next chapter cannot miss your frequency. So now I ask you, what are you ready to let go of, so the miracle of October 8th can fully enter your life? Is it an old story, a limiting belief, a relationship that holds you hostage in the past? Your answer might surprise you, but it will also free you. Comment below and declare it. Claim your shift. And if you feel it in your spirit, write this down somewhere sacred. The light enters me like a gentle rain, not a firework. I am growing something eternal. When the moment arrives and you can feel the shift not in noise or thunder, but in the calm awareness that something within you is ready, don't look away. That's your soul recognizing the harvest. You've planted the seeds through prayers whispered in worry, through choices made in silence, through the effort of simply not giving up when the world seemed indifferent. And now, what blooms is not sudden luck, but the sacred fruit of alignment. You were never out of time. You were simply being prepared. Whatever has returned to you, an unexpected solution, a reconciled relationship, or the opening of a long-awaited opportunity, is a reflection of the inner healing you've allowed to happen. That financial miracle may not fall like fireworks from the sky. It may come as a calm call, a divine conversation, or even a quiet idea that changes everything. Let it. Let the grace flow in like a soft rain, not because you begged for rescue, but because you remembered your worth. And when you feel anxious again, because you will, as we all do, pause. Breathe in slowly. Imagine your body held by light, your nervous system kissed by peace. Give yourself simple gifts, a walk beneath the trees, a warm cup of tea, a song that lifts your spirit. These are not small things. These are holy. You deserve to be well while you wait. In your work, trust your intuition more. You're not lost, you're being redirected. And if a new door opens, even if it looks different than expected, consider stepping through. Prosperity rarely enters through the front gate. It often knocks at the side door when we least expect it. In love, be bold in your softness. Let people see your care without apology. But also, honor your boundaries. Not everyone is meant to stay, and that's okay. What's meant to be rooted in your life won't require you to sacrifice your peace to keep it. And when that moment of clarity arrives, maybe at 12 a.m. on October 8th, maybe in a dream, or maybe in the eyes of someone who returns, know that you don't need to chase or prove. Just receive. Stand still like a lighthouse, and let the blessing recognize you. So now, dear soul, I invite you to ask yourself gently, what must I release to allow the miracle in? Is it fear? Control? Old stories about your unworthiness? Let it go. Comment below, I am ready. October 8th is my day. Miracles are real. Let the universe and your faith see your declaration. If this message stirred something inside you, please like this video, share it with someone who needs healing, and subscribe to Miracle of the Cygnus Space, where you're always heard, always guided, always reminded that the divine is not far away. It's right here, in your breath, in your hope, in your next brave step. And remember, sometimes, God's greatest work happens while you're still waiting.